Hey everybody, Chief here, and welcome to episode 2 of Full Speed Docker. Hopefully things go a little more smoothly this week than they have last week, which I had audio issues. So yeah, you're welcome to go back and watch 2 hours of silent moving pictures and cool, pretty terminal screenshots. That's basically what it is. So I am going to kind of pick up where I left off last week. I want to do some Docker Swarm orchestration and deployment orchestration using a tool called Shipyard. And instead of doing Vagrant to kind of spin things up in a droplet on DigitalOcean this time, I'm going to use Docker Machine. I think it's going to be a little bit easier. Plus, it has some helpers that help me dynamically grab IPs and Swarm tokens and stuff like that. So I'd also like to add that if you would like to join the live stream as a participant, this is a Google Hangouts on Air live stream. So there is a Google Hangouts URL that you can join here, and I'll try to paste that. Looks like I'm having problems with my camera now. Okay, awesome. Well, I guess this is in beta. So, well, I guess that's kind of what we can expect. So while we're waiting for that to come up, I'll just start by sharing my screen, I guess. Okay, so I had installed Docker Machine using the guide on docs.docker.com, and I am currently using Docker Machine version 0.8.0. Posting the live Hangout URL right now into the chat channel. So if you'd like to join, go ahead and jump in there. Okay, so where was it? Yeah, I had 0.8.0 of Docker Machine. I also went out to DigitalOcean, got my token, and instead of doing a YAML, like a secrets.yaml file like I was doing before, I created a .api rc folder on my home user's root, and I created a DigitalOcean folder, and from there you can see that I have a token file. So if I read this out, the only thing in this file is that 40 character hashed token. So what that allows me to do is I can say, for example, I'm going to run Docker machine ls real quick, and you'll see that I don't have any machines. So if you run Docker machine help, we can say that, see that I can create a machine using the create command. and I'm going to give it a driver of DigitalOcean and DigitalOcean token, I think. Let's check the docs real quick. I just want to see what the right parameters are here without waiting all day on it. Yeah, okay, so it's like Docker machine create driver DigitalOcean and then DigitalOcean access token equals, and then I am going to .apirc DigitalOcean token. And I'll also pass in DigitalOcean size, say 1 gigabyte. Let's just get rid of that real quick. No machine name specified. Oh, let's call it leader A. Or we'll call it manager A. So now if I share my screen here, we'll go into you can see that I've got manager A spinning up, and it's a very simple 512 megabyte, 20 gigabyte of disk-based drives. So it's not very big. I also think it's based off the boot to Docker ISO image. And last time I did this, it took about 90 seconds all told. So we should be done here in a second. Let's switch back to my terminal now. If I can get my mouse to work. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and do what it suggests here. I'm going to say Docker machine environment manager A, and it tells me what my IP is, my cert path, and it even tells me how I can, if I do this eval command, it will use this machine as my local Docker daemon for commands like Docker run. I think now that the build commands are local, but Docker pull would also be done on this machine if I set that eval. The other thing that we can do is see Docker machine ls, and we see that we have one machine running, and just verify what the active machine is. Docker machine active will do that for us. No active host found. I suppose I need to connect to it in order to. Okay, so this is an Ubuntu 16.04 image, which I guess is the default, or it's the default set in my profile. Good enough. I am going to remove this. So I'm going to say Docker machine rm manager A. And the reason I want to do that is I want to create these with a private network and start standing up our swarm this way. So what I'm going to do is create 3 droplets and put them all into an individual swarm, or a single swarm. And then I'll stand up a 4th droplet and I will install Shipyard onto that droplet. And I think there's a way to just do a swarm create with Docker machine. But I'm wondering if the docs for this are up to date with Docker 1.12. If it might not just be better to stand the swarm up manually instead of using Docker machine to do it. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and do this. So I want this to be 5, 12, 20 gig. Do I want it to be? A little bit bigger. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. I could actually set these as environment variables too. Might be better in my case here, but yes, let's do this. Yeah, so definitely the Docker machine docs and even the Docker. So you got to be careful when you go to the docs.docker.com because right now they're kind of mixed up. If you wind up clicking, you see a link on the left-hand nav, a main link that says Docker Swarm. Or if you go to Docker machine, so like I go to drivers and I'll click DigitalOcean. There is a Swarm link that you wind up going to. So it'll say like, here's how you do Swarm. And if you click on those Swarm links, they'll go to the old Swarm docs and they don't work the same way anymore. So always make sure that you're going back to the main docs and then the manage a Swarm. So let's just do a regular old Docker machine inspect, see what we get. So this is interesting because it says is swarm is false, and yet we know that it is a swarm. I wonder if there's a Docker machine exec. Okay, yeah. So here's what I'm getting. And so clearly there's some reconciliation that needs to happen with the Docker docs. So this talks about connecting node environments with the machine, and it's saying Docker machine environment swarm. And so if we were to run the Docker machine inspect command, this goes back to that piece where it says swarm options is swarm false address discoveries, everything there. Uh, this stuff isn't updated for 1.12. So let me go see if there is a new Docker machine release. There is not. Okay, so Docker machine is totally not working either for this. Getting a little frustrated because I'm going to have to go in and right now, at least though, I can use SCP, I think, to output that file. So let's do this. Let's say Docker machine SSH swarm manager A. And we can say Docker swarm join token worker. So there's our token. Okay, so now what I can do is do a Docker machine create driver DigitalOcean. Oops, sorry, got to share the right screen here. And we want DigitalOcean private networking to equal true. And we're going to call this box worker A. Actually, I'm just going to call it worker 01. That'll be a little bit easier to work with. So while this is going on, let me spin up a second one. It's a race to see which one can get done first. Okay. So now we will SSH into worker 01. We'll say chmod plus x temp swarm join, and then we'll say temp swarm join by sh. And let's exit out of here. Going to 2. Do the same thing here. Chmod plus x temp swarm join .sh. And then we'll run it. Okay, so container 0, images 0, plugin 0, swarm is active, 1 manager, 3 nodes, and we are cooking. So, Docker Swarm up and running. Let's see, manage nodes on a swarm here. Let's say Docker node ls. We should see worker 0, 01, and 02. Okay, so first things first. What do we want to do here? We have our 3 machines up. Let's take a look at Shipyard real quick. This is a good time for that. Okay. So I'm looking at the docs for Shipyard, and I think I'm going to go onto the manager machine and just try to install Shipyard here. So I'm going to use Docker machine SSH to SSH into Swarm Manager A. And then I'm going to run its installation. Well, I better check out my shipyard installation here. Okay, so I think we obviously have, whoops, a bug here, and looks like I haven't been sharing this. So I apologize. If so, I went in, I logged in as the admin account, and then I added an account for myself as the admin role, and then I deleted the admin account, and then went back to the main dashboard here. This is cool. Scale, stats, console, logs. Um, the issue I'm seeing right off the bat, though, is there are clearly 3 nodes that are part of this swarm. So if I run docker node ls, I get 3 nodes. There's no way to add nodes here, which I would really like to see, because as you saw, I had to do some trickery with Docker Machine SCP to kind of get that token over without having to copy and paste that token somewhere. And that still required me to, do like a set or awk or something to remove out some Docker language from that script. But that being said, it still is a really good look at what is on the system, what containers are running, and um, deploy container. This is really cool. So let's pull an image. What do we want to pull? Let's explore a little bit here. Here's a good one. Let's pull a Redis image. Okay, and I am going to head on over to my terminal here, and let's just verify by running Docker images that we do have the Redis image. So that works really well. That's really cool. There are, as far as I can tell, nothing in here for services yet. So Shipyard, it looks like, is not quite up to speed with Docker 1.12, which is kind of to be expected since 1.12 has been in beta up until yesterday. Let's head on over to say github.com, the Shipyard. I'll just say Shipyard search. Yeah, Shipyard. Okay, so if I go back to my console here and I look at images, Swarm is pulling latest, Shipyard is latest, Shipyard is latest. Let's find Shipyard here. This looks like it uses OAuth 2. Okay. So this is pretty cool, but clearly not really up to speed for 1.12 yet. Taking a look at the project. So what I want to see is this a live, is it being maintained? Does it look like there's been activity? Last commit was June 29th, so that was 5 weeks ago. Let's see, there's a master branch. I wonder what Swarm v3 is. Oh, machine. Nope. Okay, so it looks like the Docker image or the install script doesn't support it yet, but it is there in this merge request. So maybe we should take a look at this. This really looks like a project I could throw my time into. So some of the open source Saturdays live streams may wind up being Shipyard. This is pretty cool. So even though it looks like the main contributor is doing this on his free time, it looks like he's pretty actively doing it on his free time. So it's not just something he touches like once every 2 months. We've got 2 main contributors, I would say. Let's see what languages we're working with here. JavaScript and Go. So it's definitely in my wheelhouse. Okay. Okay. I can deal. Let's fork this. Let's give it a fork. Let's throw the fork up. And okay, it's 8 o'clock, and I need to go walk my dogs. So I may or may not log back on and do an impromptu live stream on hacking with Shipyard, doing developer setup, because this really looks like something cool, and that merge request looked very promising. So I might take a look at that, build the Docker container, run everything up, and set it up locally, and give it a shot against this Swarm cluster that I have. So if you are just wrapping up this video. Look for another live stream if you're here watching it the day of, or look for Full Speed Docker supplemental video for Full Speed Docker episode 2. Until next Wednesday, same time, same place, 7 p.m. Central Time. Catch you later. Bye.